as familiar with.
Well, speaking of faces that we're going to get familiar with, on Square One, whose face are you looking forward to seeing?
All 6 of these lovely faces. This is a team that came actually all the way from Open Division, made those necessary changes, ground through trials, and now find themselves facing off against NRG Esports. Of course, we can't neglect to mention Hot Date, that diva. Jolf as well with the main tank, going to be a big difference maker. So NRG, they're well known for their standout tank play. Stand One, Smex, and Kevster. Ooh, about to name Azire, but we can't anymore. He's back in Respawn.
Yeah, he's going to go back to Respawn, and NRG Esports are going to fight this down a member, but Hot Date is demected. Jolf's going to go down, so this is still anyone's game. Trades going down, 2 on each side. NRG Esports, look at Smex, though, almost down. Pooks is going to go down in the end. Big All getting that final blow there. Square One going to be starting this off very strong. They're not going to let NRG Esports get this one easily.
Oh, not at all, and this is a huge advantage for Square One. University is one of those points that if you can cap it first, you hold such a big positional advantage. You can push forward very aggressively with your defense, use those ultimates to hold NRG back. However, since Dove died so early on, he's only 26% up to that grab, whereas Kevster roaring in 80% to that charge.
Look at the Briggs too.
Yeah, Brigitte as well. That's going to make a big difference here. NRG Esports, this grab will be their way forward.
All right, so we're going to see another re-engagement from NRG Esports. Stand One is going to use the Earth Shatter just in time, right before getting stunned. Knock 2 onto the ground for Square One, so Pooks getting first blood. This is a 6v5 now for NRG Esports, and now we're seeing the ults coming out. Kevster investing the Graviton Surge rightly to win this fight. A flip's going to happen.
Square One, they won that, they held on about as much as you would have expected. It's so hard to return fire when they have a grab and you don't. Not only that, but you also didn't really have any support ultimates to speak of at the beginning of that fight. So now NRG hold on to that advantage. They actually, even though they lost that first fight, it was about as graceful of a loss as you might, as you could expect. They still have tank ultimates, but no Reinhardt.
Yeah, I said uh-oh because someone fell into the hole. I don't know if that was a personal mistake or if NRG caused it to happen, but an Earth Shatter coming from Stand One is going to knock 3 onto the ground. Square One falling victim to Stand One.
It's in the name. You can't deny the synergy here, and now Stand One really wants to make himself be felt, charging all the way into spawn, and that's kind of a forced flanking shatter, but still a really good reaction from NRG to use that accident and turn the fight still into their favor. So Square One, if they're going to make an entrance, it could be now nearly 50% for NRG. Dove has the grab at the ready.
A little bit of Bob Ross. Happy little accident indeed. NRG Esports does have the rally. Square One still looking for theirs, but all got to get there. Dove going to go ahead and invest that Graviton Surge, but Stand One once again is going to get first blood here. NRG Esports looking strong in this fight, especially now that Square One has invested that sound barrier. That's a suspect investment, especially since that puts them very far behind in terms of that support ultimate.
Square One gonna have a difficult time re-engaging. Anytime you're attacking these kind of stationary objectives, you always have to think, how are we going to open up this point? Wait for a pick, wait for the speed boost, open with an ultimate. And right now, Square One are hampered in the fact that they only have 2 ultimates, nearly 3 online, but NRG have been in control of the tempo this entire match. So they're still comfortable here. This is one fight territory for them.
Are they going to be in control at the end of the round? Stand One going to try his best, swinging that hammer, getting taken very low, and Ultraviolet going to get the finishing blow there. NRG Esports now functioning with 1 less member, but Square One only has a Transcendence, and look at Ultraviolet go. Doesn't even need the ult charge. This is going to get the Orb of Destruction kill. NRG Esports down 2 members, giving up this point smartly, but they're going to have a ton to come back with.
They only need 1 more clean fight, Boop, so 4 ultimates, one of them might just do the trick. However, Square One have largely evened things up. They're going to be close to the grab, close to the bomb, but there is no prize for most improved here. You have to be able to execute those plans as well. Ultraviolet is really going to be hoping to continue to hold onto the trans, not forced to pop it early in this fight, as NRG are charging in with a ton of ults.
Yeah, the alley barrier was used on Stand One, so that cooldown is not available right now. And we do have a self-destruct going up towards the top side, but the shielding is there. Boots saving the team with the Transcendence, with the Earth Shatter coming through the other way. Square One is going to get that first blooded. Smek's getting a good kill. Smek's been playing very well so far as an Earthshatter coming the other way, knocking both supports onto the ground, but it doesn't matter. Square One are losing this fight, especially without Jolf and that shielding. Everyone else is so much more vulnerable. Big All is going to get the allied barrier, and look at Angelic almost pushing Stand One into the well, but that's not going to happen for them. Good D-Neck now coming from Square One, keeping themselves in at this fight. The Sound Layer are going to be doing the same. Kevster using the Graviton Surge, locking every single member of Square One up. Earthshatter is the cherry on top. NRG Esports is going to be taking this 100-94.
So unlucky for Angelic right there. Drop the sound barrier to try and save Hot Date's mech. That Matrix is so important in these last-minute fights, but missed that timing a little bit, and then the shielding had actually all worn off by the time they got sucked up into that grav. So just a series of unfortunate events really for Square One. They didn't ever seem to have an opportunity to play the game that they wanted to because NRG were so in control of the tempo. Never waiting for the engagement, rather creating opportunities for themselves. Now Stand One swapping onto the Winston.
This is exciting.
When NRG Esports, who also ran double main tank last season, it was actually Stand One on the Winston, Smex picking up the Reinhardt.
That was
and that,
awesome.
Yes.
I remember that on, was it Ruins on Ilios?
And it just goes to show how good of a Winston Stand One is. So now facing off against Jolf, that's a little bit palm sweaty, mom spaghetti for Square One here. They don't want to give up control entirely. They would really hope for a round 3.
No one likes sweaty spaghetti. HamTornado. NRG Esports going to be starting off without Izire, who's going down at first, and we've seen when the Zarya or the Brig dies first, the rest will come. Jolt, though, going to be going down for Square One. This is a 5v5, trading the Brig for the Winston. That's not that bad. Smek's going to find himself coming off of the map. The D-Mech probably happened in a very inopportune spot for Smek. So NRG Esports, without their Diva, their Brig is going to be coming back soon, but they're going to go ahead and give this to Square One.
Izire dying first, definitely hampering NRG, because if you look at these ultimate charges, especially between Drolf and Stand One, even in a lost fight, Stand One still finds tons of value from that massive cleave. He's 70% to a Primal Rage, just 30 more seconds, and he can sow so much disruption and keep Square One from playing their game again.
All right, NRG Esports going to try to play their game, and a good kill onto Ultraviolet into the backline will be returned the other way around. So it's 2 versus 2, but one Diva doesn't have a mech, and that self-destruct is going to go through. But before the mech comes back, Hot Date going back to spawn. Stand One has a Primal Rage, which can be an enormous boon to their chances here to flip this point, specifically because of the environmental kill potential. But look at him push Dove all the way back. Going to use make Jolf use that Primal Rage first, but Dove is going to have to go back to spawn, but they have not flipped this point yet.
No, and Izire getting caught out as well, so the Brigida goes down. NRG going to have a much weaker re-engagement here, but Jolf finally goes down with that Primal Rage away. Stand One now unleashing all of his fury on Square One.
Ultraviolet Transcendence has depleted. There's no support ultimates for Square One, and NRG Esports will take advantage of that by getting that kill onto Big All and Angelic, and also flipping the point in the meantime.
That was a sneaky point flip right here. So all of this extra charge that Stand One is getting, not to mention the energy from the ally bubble that Kevster put on him, is all good stuff. NRG continuing to prepare not just for the fight right in front of them, but for the second, third, fourth fight following. Square One again find themselves with only one tool in their pocket, Dove's Grab, as Jolf has swapped onto the Reinhardt. It's a tricky battle here. You're giving up a lot of mobility with the Rein pick.
But at least they're not at the 80%. That's still the very beginning of the game, so they can catch up with those ultimate charges. Stand One going to get bursted down. The Graviton Surge is going to solo him. Stand One is no longer in this world, but let's see if NRG Esports are going to be able to stall just like Square One did when they were down a man as well. Big All, very low. The Transcendence is going to help NRG Esports stay on this point, and hopefully for Stand One to come back, as he's so close to that Primal Rage. If he's able to rejoin his team, this is still anyone's game. Self-destruct is out. No kills there. Jolf going to go ahead and use that for the rest of his team. Hot Date going to be using that self-destruct to no avail as Kevster dropping that Graviton Surge. And Stand One is back, and he has a grudge right now. Ugh. Look at this fist go.
Everybody just take a dive. That was filthy right there. Stand One. Not only does he generate ultimate for every single fight, he always seems to have Primal Rage up and ready, but taking advantage of those small moments. I don't know if it was entirely in the comms or in the plans that Kevster is going to drop an opportunistic grab in a tiny hallway, but Stand One, hey, how can I put in a ton of damage? I don't know, smash people into smithereens, some, you know, modern art on the always works out, but recognizing, yes, recognizing though the Earth Shatter potential in here for Jolf, he doesn't want to become everyone.
Sound barrier is going to start the beginning of this engagement from a square one. Jolf has an Earth Shatter, but they really want to try to get rid of Stand One's shield before throwing that out. But Big All getting the first blood here is going to give square one a chance to take this away. 3 kills, that's all that they're going to need. NRG Esports are going to have to try this again with no ultimates coming through.
This is not the worst case, though. 99% is the brink that you do want to bring the objective to. If you give it up at any point, 99%, not too bad. But Stand One, he still has to contend with Jolf's Earth Shatter. Square One, they used a grab to secure that fight. Not bad. They still have 2, nearly 3 with that trance right up. Gonna need it for Kevster's grab.
Big All using the rally. Earth Shatter going to knock 3 onto the ground. NRG Esports going to have to invest the sound barrier to staying alive, and Square One's not going to be letting them look at the point right now. But after this ultimate, Square One might need to cede some space, but NRG Esports not really having a lot of HP to work with. The armor pack has been invested into Stand One, but Jolt's going to be going down. After Square One used all of their cooldowns, NRG Esports knew exactly what to do. They re-engaged and they got those kills, and they're going to get this round victory. Well, this map was close both ways. I never really felt like NRG Esports was out of control. I think they were advantageous in how they used the fights and used the extra time on the clock in terms of percentage to re-engage appropriately.
Re-engage is the name of the game right here, Boop, because you take a look at the way that NRG played around their ultimates, played around the ultimates that Square One had. Square One was kind of a little bit more by the book. Oh, we're going to win with grab, right? But NRG, you know, this is the same roster that they held onto from the last season. So with that, you can expect, you know, communication, synergy, trust will all be there between the 6 members, and you can see it. I don't know if that Primal Rage into Graviton Surge was planned, but boy, did it work, right? And Stand One then goes all the way back to spawn, swaps immediately onto the Reinhardt. He obviously enjoys playing the Winston and was getting a lot done with it, but what was more important, protecting his team from a potential shatter. So you have that static shield as well. All just really good stuff from NRG, very controlled.
Well, Square One put up a really good fight, both times getting over 90% on both of those rounds, but they couldn't finish it off. And again, I think that is a little misleading, to be completely honest with you. As NRG were in control, I think they knew what room they had to work with, and they were very smart on how to retake these points.
How far can I push this, right? And that's kind of the mark of a great tank player just in general. How much damage can I absorb? How much, you know, room can I take before I'm forced out of there so I can hang on to my life? And all of NRG, I mean, they are running 3 tanks, so maybe that tank mentality kind of going around, being cycled. It was exactly as you said, Boop. You know, they didn't ever seem panicked. We never saw a moment, even though Azire, to be fair, died first, both opening rounds, but kept their cool, still got something out of it. Hey, I can't win this fight, but I can get 70% up to Primal within the first fight.
So they've gotten to 9-0. Right? This is the map that Mayhem Academy bungled their opportunity to get to their coveted 10-0, but let's see if NRG Esports are going to do it. But Square One really do want to play spoiler in this instance. Big All, you know, we've said his name a bunch in the past, but if you had a player to watch that's going to potentially take this map victory away from NRG, who's it going to be?
It's a little bit hard to say. You really need the team to kind of all focus down and work as a single organism. But if I was to say someone, I've been particularly impressed by a Hot Day, actually. Great bomb timings. You know, Diva, you kind of have to be that jack of all trades, a master of all of that too. You know, no master of none here. And he actually subbed in last season of Contenders for Congarna, I believe. So this is a guy who's, you know, pretty experienced, certainly. And here, as we move into King's Row, this is where we've seen many a bigger bang combo wreck defenses and offenses. So this is Square One's chance.
So are we going to see quad DPS coming out here on spawn on the offensive side? Remember, we finally are going to see, you know, Oasis all controls even on both sides in terms of spawn, but on every other map, the defense has a little bit of a disadvantage coming out of spawn. So we most likely will be seeing a Sombra or a Hanzo or a Widowmaker to scout the defensive team, and then we'll finally see the offense commit to their characters. And the reason why that's great is because defense can't switch, right? So you get to automatically know that you're coming into this with an advantage.
Free mulligan.
Yep.
Right, for the attackers. So Square One on the attack first, with Dove at least hinting just a smidgen of Widowmaker. And
it's going to be a scout.
I think so. I think so. But You know, regardless, even if we do see that Mirror Goats matchup, it's still possible to roll over this first point in your very first push. We're going to be talking about, you know, shields breaking first. You have to conserve that cooldown, bubble placement, and rotations is going to be the way for Square One forward.
All right, so no shenanigans from either side here as we're seeing Goats, the Reinhardt version from both. Look at stand one. That obviously was a very good fire strike, already sitting at 16% on that ultimate percentage. And now we get to see what we like to call the Reinhardt mating dance. It's around Mondada's statue most of the time, but they're going to get those shields as close to each other as possible before the particle barriers do come out and they're able to swing that hammer and get that ult charge. Stand one very far ahead on this ult charge, and you know, while he is taking damage, what that's doing is giving Byron and Poots ult charge for themselves, so they're okay with that here on the defense. Square One, Dove, very far behind on that ult charge. Actually, pound for pound right now, NRG Esports ahead, and Stand One's going to have a very early Earth Shatter here. Byron's going to have a Transcendence as well, but Big All going to start things off with that rally that kind of snuck up in that percentage points for Square One. Stand One not going to be able to use that Earth Shatter. Byron held on to the Transcendence, is actually going to be going down as well. So NRG Esports had what they needed to stop this, but unfortunately died before they could use any of it.
Yeah, the focus fire from Square One just a little bit too strong for Stand One, who kind of got that welcome mat yanked out from underneath his feet, just as we were praising him about knowing where to draw the line. He goes down first. Hey, it certainly happens, and that next fight is still going to be that much stronger for those ultimates.
You got to go to a 13 to know where a 10 is.
Yep.
Right? So now he felt 13, now he knows where that 10 is. He's going to be able to intuitively be able to, hey, guys, play around me, or I'm just going to go swing it.
Yeah. Regardless, NRG will have the grab for this next fight, whereas Square One still just ticking up to just 60%, not to mention that rally charge, which Azire will now have.
All right, self-destruct coming from Square One, not going to hit anything. Oh, Earth Shatter now from NRG Esports. That's going to be enough. Angelic is no longer here, and the sound barrier is not going to be there, especially in... Oh! Six-man shatter, everybody! You know, in the industry,
we call that
a fatty shatty. And so now NRG Esports have experienced what a fatty shatty truly is. A Square One, Jolf, you're going to record that. That's on every part of your game tape ever.
That, woof, what a way to come back in, talking about Hot Date and his bombs, but you can't forget about that giant German Crusader with a hammer either, standing right in front of the team, and although it took him a little bit longer to get that Earth Shatter, what value. So NRG now, they can see point B, and still 4 minutes in the time bank for them.
All right, so the rally is going to be starting things off. Dub using that Graviton Surge. Byron going to have that counter to that Transcendence. Are we going to find any kills from this Graviton Surge? As of right now, the answer is a big fat no. NRG Esports, though. Stand One's finally going to be able to use that Earth Shatter once again. Nothing to it, though. Square One, Jolf. That's got to be scary. Stand One's also down, so the Earth Shatter is going to be free for a lot of the characters. But yes, 2 members are going to be down for NRG Esports. Jolf using these Earth Shatters. Some value from these Earth Shatters that we haven't really been seeing from some of these other Rhines.
No, especially not from Stand One. Oh, no. I mean, for a guy who, you know, has made a name for himself on main tank, he clearly is very comfortable on the Winston. Maybe still finding that line on the Reinhardt. Would like to point out one of the victims of Jolf's shatter was Byram. You really cannot have your backline get caught in those tank CC ultimates, or else they're not going to be able to, you know, pop trans. But more importantly, just a regular Harmony Orb would have done so much to keep NRG alive.
All right, Kevster's going to use that Graviton Surge. It's going to be better for them than it was for Square One. They do get Angelic once again, but there's a trade on the other side. Desire having a hard time staying alive. Earth Shatter tried to combo with that self-destruct, but to no avail. Smek still has a self-destruct of his own. Is it going to do what NRG Esports needs, especially now that Poots is down? Square One has not been challenged so far here on King's Road. A Graviton Surge is going to take Kevster out solo. They really just want to walk into this last point.
Yeah, and it also cuts down the chance that he's going to get a grab in the very last seconds of this fight. Byron's trance will be the savior, but he's dead! Oh! Oh,
no. Might as well just zoom Yada right out of that, because they're right at the end. Self-destruct going to buy some time, and maybe buy a little bit more time, as Smek's going to get 2 kills. Is this the miracle that they need? NRG Esports really want to stop Square One here, take a little bit more time off of the clock, but Desire going down is going to make it a little bit harder. Defensive spawns are here, though. Smex is nice and healthy as well. Stand One needs a big Earth Shatter to push Square One off. Graviton Surge is going to help that, but Byram's going to go down once again. Stand One is going to get stunned. He has the sound barrier shields. When is he going to drop this Earth Shatter? I'm glad he didn't listen to me, because the rest of the team did take up that slack. Square One are not going to finish this 0.57 meters away.
Was that a blessing in disguise? Byram's early death, he definitely zoom-yachted out of spawn, and his second chance helped NRG Esports stabilize that defense. Square One actually, you know, I'm not sure about Ultraviolet's trance. That was kind of a double down when they were already so low in terms of members that it may have been better to go for the later fight. Still got 3 minutes though, and Dove burns the ally bubble onto Joel, so he's working towards that energy.
Oh, another Earthshatter going to be coming through, knocked 3 onto the ground. He's going to lose his life for it, but his team is going to have to follow up damage there. Kepster stand 1, not going to be long. Izire once again, and this last point, he has been dead more than he has been alive. As Big All with that rally armor, keeping Square One nice and healthy. Transcendence now coming from Byron. Now they're in that miracle stall world. Smex goes down. Stand 1 can't even make it to the point. The Earthshatter is going to be coming down. Square One going to be finishing this very, very quickly. NRG Esports has a lot to make up.
That was surprising, I would say. Not the fact that Square One played so aggressively, because we know this is the team that took down XL2, right? So we could be expecting, you know, some of that aggro playstyle from Square One, but NRG not able to absorb any of that damage, really. Every time they did, you know, they kind of cracked under pressure like dry firewood, right? And so I would really hope to see a little bit better ultimate usage, I would say, from NRG. Value is kind of the name of the game here.
I mean, you got to get value when you're alive, too. When you're spending most of the game dead, you're not contributing to your team, and then you're just getting passive ultimate generation, and then your team isn't, like, you know, functioning like that well-oiled machine that we know that NRG Esports can do. Is Kings Row just going to be the curse for these 9-0 teams right now? Because 2 minutes and 30 seconds is nothing to scoff at for Square One.
Yeah, this is where Mayhem Academy also fell and marred their up to that point perfect map win record. It just feels like, correct me if I'm wrong, it just feels like NRG Esports has been taken out of system, right? That they had a plan coming in. Byron knows how to time trances. He's done it so many times
he's good
before,
at fragging
right?
as well.
He's a great Zenyatta. Just somehow, though, zoom yachting onto that last point wasn't really in the stars for him. He didn't feel like that was necessary, and Square One just tightened the screws to the point where NRG were forced to scramble.
Those screws are going to be there for years to come, most likely. NRG Esports going to be looking at that one probably in the game tape to figure out what went wrong on that defense. But here we go. We're seeing some characters that aren't involved in GOATs, but we're going to see them all switch off here just a second. Kepster made some contact. He was at 10%. We saw Widow do something, guys. That's pretty awesome. And so Square One, they know what they're looking at right now. Smex is going to stick on the Sombra, and we have seen when a team doesn't have a Sombra how bad that can be for them, but they have to make it onto the objective to do that. But hey, they might actually do it because it's been a 2 versus 2 trade at this point. 4 players on each side. That's going to be much better for the offenses. They're going to get their full 6 way sooner.
And not just any 2 kills, but both supports from Square One, so that means that you can't even peek without taking tons of damage and potentially putting yourself at risk for giving up your life and this point. So Square One, they're holding behind the hotel for now. Jolf is, though, leading in ultimate charge.
Hot Date taken very low from Smex's Sombra. Look at that, 20% away from EMP. That can be available in the next 5 to 10 seconds. Smex getting the DMEC onto Hot Date also tells me that this EMP is going to be absolutely enormous, but is there going to be anything to back it up? Is that all that you need if you're NRG Esports to grab this point? Square One smartly in the back right now. They're going to go ahead and push through with that rally. A 6-man EMP is coming through from Smex, and that's going to be it, folks. NRG Esports are going to be taking this first point.
Smart, patient play. Again, controlled from NRG. Things weren't really looking their way in the very beginning. They got 2 trades. They didn't push in. You might have asked, hey, why aren't you, you know, pedal to the metal, adding some gas to the flames? They were waiting for Smex's EMP, and not as a fight opener either. You wait until Square One commits the speed boost, and then you hit all 6 members, shut the lights off, and then not only do you find the kill and the point, but even if there was a thought to back off, you know the speed boost's already been down.
Exactly, and so no escape provided from NRG Esports. Smex going to be trying to work his way back up to that EMP. Got the last one very, very quickly. Square One actually choosing not to hold up close. We've seen other teams hold really close when the payload does come out, but they're going to go ahead and give him that space. Hot Date going to get DMEC, but an Earthshatter coming the other way. Jolt has been fire with these Earthshatters, but another good one coming from NRG Esports. Stand One doing a good Jolt impression there. These Reinhardts making contact on these Earthshatters. We've seen so many shielded ones so far. This is nice and refreshing.
Yeah, the counter shatter play between these two Rhines has been top tier so far. Stand One really wants to make his mark shown. He's kind of been more of the fight finisher man, whereas Jolf has been set up, and then Dove or Hot Date is the punchline. Smek's forced out of there, but only 8% away from the EMP. Square One, even if they push forward and find the kill, they might just get their entire team EMP'd for their troubles. So a very tricky line to follow here.
Smek's got a little overzealous, it seems. He's going to go down with this next fight. They do have EMPs, so all of the check marks that Square One has might not matter. That is the best part about Sombra. Amongst a lot of other really great parts
like
about
being
Sombra.
invisible forever.
Yeah,
that always
definitely helps.
Ooh, that's a painful stagger, though. That's going to cut down NRG's time bank and force them to wait a little bit longer before they can think of that re-engage. But Smek's just going to go and scout as Sombras do. Ultraviolet, of course, is always one of your top priority targets. Angelic as well. Shut down that Lucio, keep him from generating sound barrier.
All right, so now Square One, I feel like what we've seen in the past, too, is a lot of divas will just circle and shoot just to see if they can clip the Sombra, get out of stealth. Dove's going to go ahead and do it. Nice little jump, but the EMP is there. Trades going on both sides, Poots and Jolf respectively, and now NRG Esports aren't going to have what they need to do to win this fight. The EMP, they put a lot of their hopes into that EMP, and right now their hopes are being dashed.
Square One now flexing, adapting. They didn't wait for the engage from NRG. They said, okay, all right, well, even if we do get EMP'd, we'll already be sending a bomb your way. No return service allowed. So Square One, they still have the sound barrier, and NRG, they're holding on to 2 minutes, 20 seconds, respectable, but not necessarily the time bank you would expect with the strength that they took point A.
Well, King's Row tends to be done very quickly by a lot of these teams. Everyone's so familiar with it. They know every nook and cranny because it's a really well-made map as well. But Square One is only going to have 3 ultimates here. Jolf's Earth Shatter with the Sound Barrier and the Rally. Ultraviolet doesn't have the trans for Kevster's grab. So NRG Esports definitely have an opening here. They do take a little bit of damage as they do open things up with Rally, but Big All is going to have one of his own. Graviton Surge is out. EMP coming the other way now. Square One going to get another 6-man EMP against them. That's going to be a tough one to win. NRG Esports going to be able to save that Earth Shatter as well.
Good value from NRG. Played Square One just a little bit there. Kevster dropped the grab, and so Square One thought that they were dealing with, you know, a Graviton Surge bomb combo, Grav Shatter combo, and surprise. 3 seconds later, Smex smashes Q, EMPs the entire team. So all of those well-laid plans into the dust for Square One, who now will have a Grav Bomb combo of their own and the trans finally coming in. So NRG may find some of their momentum stopped up, especially with Smex's death.
You got to keep tabs on that Sombra. The 2 times that they have, Square One have found themselves in a much better position on the defense. And so NRG Esports are going to go ahead and switch off the Sombra. I think that's a good idea. I think the momentum has kind of shifted away from that right now. Square One do have 3 ultimates, looking at the 2 from NRG Esports.
Yeah, so right now it's just all about maintaining that energy, keeping those shields healthy. The fight is in Square One's hands. They hold the grab, so they'll let it loose.
All right, here's that bigger bang combo. Is the shield there? Oh, it looks like it was. Stand One, though, going to be fallen. No one going down from that self-destruct. Hoops is going to have to get that armor pack to stay alive. NRG Esports struggling right now on this last point. They are down to under 2 minutes.
Big investment, the trance right there. Dove will likely be close to a grab by the time NRG makes a meaningful engagement, because even if Kevster drops his own, Ultraviolet will counter it. So we're looking at maybe a couple of other tough fights for NRG before they can make some distance.
All right, Graviton Surge is there. Hitting a Transcending Zenyatta is not going to do much, but it looks like there's going to be a boop kill and then another one. Oh my goodness, there is a party down there. What a chain reaction. That was awesome to look at. So I think it was a boop into, it was a charge into a boop into a whip shot, right?
3 people went into the pit, and that is the boop triumvirate. Very lucky. I think it's like one of those star signs or something.
Yeah.
But NRG...
Romance of the 3 boops, right?
Exactly. So NRG, for Pooks' troubles, he will have sound barrier. Angelic as well. He's going to need it as the Rosaria is ready to rev those grabs.
Rev indeed. Dove's going to be able to rev his first. Earth Shatter going to knock Byram out of this game, actually. That's not a lot of damage, but Byram's not going to be able to get to that Transcendence, which I think they need to finish off this map. And NRG Esports is actually doing a good thing here. I think throwing yourself off, I know that's a booster kill, giving Hot Date some ult charge, but NRG Esports could not do that without Byram.
Stand One, I think, was hoping for maybe a D-mech. trade your life for the DMEC, come into the next fight that much stronger, but didn't quite happen that way, unfortunately. So Hot Date going to be very close to the self-destruct.
Here we go. Graviton Surge is going to hit Jolt's shield. The Bigger Bang combo is there. The shield isn't. Smek's going to get... No! Hot Date going to get the triple kill on the self-destruct. NRG Esports, the record is probably going to fall at this point. Square one playing spoiler.
Oh, man alive. If only Stand One had gotten that DMEC, this could have been a different scenario, but as it stands, are there going to be any bodies to touch it? Hammond! Wrecking Ball, he flew too high.
Square one wins, evening up the series 1-1. No 10-0 for NRG, so the max is going to be 9-0 tied with Mayhem Academy and NRG for NA Contenders map record. But we're going to have another season to try that again next season, but we got to finish this one off. Square one looking really good on Kings Row. Much better on Kings Row than they did on Control.
Oh, undoubtedly. Night and day. I feel like they barely really played GOATs on Oasis, but in Kings Row, we're starting to see some of those, moments come through, because as much as we talk about NRG keeping that same roster, this Square one roster, you start all the way in Open Division, and they actually also kept their same coach, Vowels. So he's
glad you're doing well, buddy, by the way.
Yeah. So proud of you, son. But so we have that synergy as well. We can't discount that kind of trust and communication from Square one either. They just needed an opportunity, that time, that breathing room to kind of figure out, okay, what are we going to be doing here, right?
Well, I mean, Six-Man Shatters is like the ultimate breathing room. You're pretty much in your own bubble at that point.
Everybody
right?
take a nap for like, 6 seconds. It's like the Vulcan pinch. It's just boom.
Right. So Jolf playing very, very well. Honestly, competing against Stand One, who came into this with a ton of hype. A lot of people, I mean, he played so well last week. And so we expected a little bit of the same. We had been talking about the tank matchup for our next game, but the one that we're seeing right now is pretty good as well. But we're going to take a quick break before we do finish out this set. Everything is tied 1-1 with NRG and Square One playing spoiler with that 10-0 map record. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll see everyone soon.